Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. These are the new Essence products for Fall/Winter 2024. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to give you a first impression review of all the new bits that Essence has released. I already did a video with all of the new CATRICE stuff, so I'll make sure to link that in the description box down below in case you missed it. But today we're just going to dive deeper into these Essence products. I will be inserting swatches and close-up pictures I already took, so let's just get to it. So like with CATRICE, I feel that Essence has come out with a far more curated collection than they ever have. In case you're unfamiliar with these brands, here in Europe, because they are German-based brands, we pretty much get all of the releases. And these releases happen limited edition style, but also twice a year. Around the end of summer and like end of winter, we get this assortment update. That's what they call it. And this is the one for the next season, you could say. So we have a lot of new products here. I'm just going to be applying them to my face for the first time for you and let you know my thoughts. The CATRICE one was very successful. And when I was swatching these Essence products, I was already pretty impressed with some of these, so I have high hopes that there are some new gems in the new Essence range. So making sure my hair is nicely out of my face, I have this guy here. This is the Hello Good Stuff 48-hour hydrating serum stick. So officially, they say this is a serum, but to me it looks a little bit like a primer. I felt it even had a little bit of like a tackiness. It has cucumber and hyaluronic acid in it. So I just hope this is going to be great as a base for the rest of my makeup. I did already apply my skincare routine as usual. That's why I'm a little bit glowy, because I feel like the new SPF that I'm using, it's a K-Beauty one by Haru Haru. And it's really, really nice, but it does leave this like glow as well, which I really enjoy. But I have another product here. This is the Jelly Grip Under Eye Primer Stick. So this is, they've done something like this in the past, and that one I didn't like. It was like a pink container with a blue stick inside it, and I felt that the stick didn't melt enough. It wasn't hydrating enough for me at all. But this, because I like the Jelly Grip Primer that they came out with previously, that's for your entire face, I thought this could be fun, and I'm going to be using it under my eyes and on top of my lids to see if it works a little bit like an eye primer as well, because it does say gripping and refreshing. We'll see how these goes. I have no clue about these, but they felt nice on the skin when I was swatching them. So this stick, I do have to rub it in a little bit, I think, to make sure it is evenly distributed. But it feels really pleasant on the skin. It has a cooling sensation when you apply it, which I think is really, really nice. We're still having some warm days currently here in the Netherlands, so that is really excellent. And this one, I cannot say anything about it yet. I don't know whether it's gonna prime my face, yes or no. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be using it as a primer. It's supposed to be more or less a skincare product in their range, I think. But I think this is a really, really nice one. So I definitely want to try it a bit more. And then I have this guy, the Jelly Grip Under Eye Primer Stick, which, like, the stick is just a little bit too big, I feel, to go on your under eye, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Similar sort of cooling sensation as it goes on. So that can be nice in the mornings, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit to my lids as well. I hope this, I'm not jinxing anything by applying this. But yeah, it also has a very soft, very hydrating feel, but you can definitely feel it's a different texture to the other one. The other one is definitely more of a hydrating product, and this feels a little bit more tacky. I do want to let this sit for a little bit before we get to the rest of the makeup, because I feel that with these kind of products, you just need to wait like a minute or two. So in the meantime, we're going to be applying two different lip products, because they came out with a new line of Juicy Balm Glossy Butter Balms, and this is the new Essence version of those like squirt lip balms that MAC came out with. These also have the downside that once you twist them up, you cannot twist them back down. That's what I found out as I was swatching it. And this is a purple shade. It's called So Berry Cute. And I just thought that this could be a fun one to try. So let me pop this one on my lips. So here's what that looks like on my lips. I thought that maybe it would like give a tint to your lips as well, but I don't feel it really does that. So this, I'm not sure, it's definitely pretty heavily scented, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's that like sort of artificial berry sort of scent that you get in candy as well. There is like a hint of blue now to my lips, but it definitely doesn't change the color of my lips at all, I feel. So this may be really nice if you like your fruity fragrances. I definitely only picked up one because I just wanted to try the formula. Will I be using this up? It could be nice to go into a handbag or something like that, like for touch up throughout the day when you feel your lips are a little bit dry, but I don't think this is going to be my go-to new lip balm formula. And then I have the other product here, and this is the Hydrakiss lip oil. So this is a new shade in an existing range. I actually filmed a video with the original couple of shades a while back when those came out. This is Midnight Mystery. And as you can see, it looks like it's going to be like a really dark berry, but when I swatched it, it looked black. So this may actually need a bit of lip liner for it to actually look good, but I want to see what it looks like by itself. I didn't end up keeping any of the original versions because I prefer the CATRICE ones that came out at around the same time, just a little bit better. And none of the shades in the Essence range were very different from the CATRICE ones that I already owned. But this is definitely something new for me, so let's see if this looks cool or not. Of course, I'm not wearing any other makeup yet, so I don't know whether I'll be able to tell, but this is definitely a product I want to play around with. So that, I think, is really pretty. It definitely looks like it's going to be black when you first apply it, but I definitely think the berry tone comes out a little bit more. It does have a fragrance to it, so it smells a little bit sweet, but not as overpowering and weird as the other one I just showed you. I like the scent a little bit better. I don't really see much of a difference, to be quite fair, so maybe if you put this on with lip liner and maybe like other lip products, this can be really pretty. So I'm not sure, I'm not sold on it completely, but I just thought that this was a cool shade to try. So I feel my base has now settled in enough, and it definitely, like this stick thing, I definitely feel my skin is a little bit tacky, and also my lids and my under eye. So these are definitely, I think, good enough to be primers, especially if you have drier skin, I think. And then we need to go in with a product that Essence calls a primer, but it is tinted at the same time. So this has me confused. I did pull in the skin tint from one of the previous ranges to be able to fix things if this doesn't have any coverage. But this is the Wonderfull primer. It is 5-in-1. It says SPF 30, priming, hydrating, pore minimizing, and it should even out your skin tone. And this is in the light medium shade. This is the lightest shade that they do, which you'll see in the swatch, but it looks orange. So that's why I'm a little bit worried about this. But here it is on the back of my hand. And if I spread it out, you can, I think, see a little bit that it's just not my shade, I think. What I want to do, though, because something that is also new in the range is this. The drops of sunshine, sunshine bronzing drops. This is, of course, that Drunk Elephant, Elf Already Duped It kind of inspired product. And what I thought I could do with these two, because I don't think this will have the coverage I want, is to mix these two together to create that sun-kissed glow, apply it all over my face, and then just go in with the skin tint as a foundation instead. That's the plan. So I think I will be doing that. I will have to try these products separately after this video. That is something I always do after sitting down to film these first impressions for you. I always test these out to the fullest and come back later to give you an update on both the new Essence and CATRICE products once I've tried them all. So here's what those two products look like when you blend them together. And I'm just going to apply it with a flat sort of brush to stipple it on, just to add some color into my face to get that sun-kissed look. And I definitely think that the Essence product is definitely more like a primer kind of thing, if you want that like no makeup look, rather than a foundation that's going to like really provide coverage. I definitely think this looks nice together, but I do think I am now 2 shades too dark and I look a little orange. So that was definitely my expectation. So I'm going to be covering up with a product I have already used. This is the Essence Skin Tint. This is a really good product. I have it in shade 10. So I definitely think that skin tint helped to even things out, but now I have this for you. This is the Conceal and Correct and Conceal Under Eye Brightener in the shade Light. And the cap probably makes you think this is a very strong peach. That's what I thought when I bought it, that it was going to be a peach tone corrector. But when I swatched it on the back of my hand, it looked pink. So I'm just going to use it on the under eyes because these kind of pink tones I usually don't use to like cover up my like redness or anything. They're not good enough for that, but they can definitely brighten the under eye. You can see here that it's quite pink. And I felt that as I was blending it out for that like swatch I was doing, that it looked more pink as I was blending it. So it looks warmer in the packaging than it actually is going on, which I like. So this is definitely brightening. Very often I find that brighteners aren't light enough for me because my skin is just so fair. But this definitely adds that little bit of contrast and it definitely brightens up my under eye. Now this I'm not really sure what to do with because I have another bronzer to play with. But before I powder my face, I think it's good to go in with this contour stick that they came out with. This is the Contour Duo Stick, and it has a contour shade, and it has a, like, highlighter kind of shade. So I thought maybe I could use some of that highlighter on my nose and on my chin to add some brightness there, and attempt a little bit of contouring. I think the stick is a little bit small, but the shade of this contour was very nicely cool toned when I swatched it. So we'll see how this, I usually don't contour or use things like this, but for the sake of the video and trying to show you as many products as I can, I'm taking one for the team. Is it just me or did it disappear? I don't really see much of that. Like, oh, you can see it a little bit, I think. But it's very subtle, which, you know, is good, I think. So we've got a nice little bit of glow going on right now, but of course we still need to set the face. And Essence has come out with their version of this like multicolored powder. I'm not sure you can see, but it's got like a skin tone color, a bright pink, and a lavender. And what I like about this one is that if you want to, you could just apply one shade because this thing turns. So you can sort of expose just one of the pans, or you can take it out like I'm doing because I want to blend all of the shades together. This felt very finely milled, and I have to say that Essence is doing some good things here. It really looks like they're duping things, but in their own way, you could say. So I forgot to tell you what this product is even called. This is the Flawless Skin Trio Loose Setting Powder. Blurring, brightening, and smoothing. I think the CATRICE powder was a little bit better at like really making a difference between how glowy things looked. This has definitely set things into place, I think. It is a nice powder, I think. But I think it may be a bit too much for my dry skin. I can definitely sort of already seeing it like absorb a lot of the things that I've got going on that I actually would like it to still be there. So you then create a super nice hydrating base and then, you know, you take it all away with powder. I'm not a huge fan of that. So if you have oily skin, this may be better for you. I think I like the CATRICE powder a little bit better. Which brings me to cheeks. I told you I had more bronzer. We're going to be using this lip and cheek balm as a blush, the Juicy Melon, and then they did this, the Holo Baby Got Holo Glow Highlighter. So they've actually come out with products that they didn't do yet that I think are really popular in the range in other products. So this product already came in blush and highlighter, and this product already came in bronzer and blush, and now they've sort of expanded those ranges. There's only one shade of this, I believe. This is the shade Holy Apricotly, and the Baby Got Bronze is in shade 10, Sweet Shadow. This I'm super, super happy with, because shade-wise, this is one of the coolest tone bronzers I have found on the market to date. With these, the little sponges don't really work. It's not like with the Charlotte Tilbury or the e.l.f. where the product is dispensed through the little sponge here. There's just a hole in the middle that the product actually comes out of. And the cushion is a little bit hard. So what I tend to do with these is that I just apply it to the back of my hand and then apply it like I would a normal like liquid or cream bronzer. So that's what we're gonna do here. It does have the twisting mechanism, which the e.l.f. ones don't have. So I do like that. But the packaging is definitely a little bit cheap. So we're gonna start things off with bronzer. I'm just gonna take a little bit because I don't want to overdo it. See, this is what the shade looks like when it like is blended out. It looks pretty pink, which a little grayish pink almost, which I think can work quite nicely, especially in the winter for me. Maybe more of a contour shade for most people though. Here's what that bronzer looks like from the Baby Got Bronze line. This is the first bronzer in such a long time that I don't feel I need to blend anymore. It definitely looks more like a bronzer in the viewfinder, I feel, than in real life. In real life, it has a gray cast on me, which it can work. I think if you're super duper cool tone, this may definitely be a product that you can look into, because I think it is one of the coolest tone bronzers I have ever found. And maybe when the weather changes and my skin, like of course I now also applied those bronzing drops underneath it, so I was already a little bit more orange than I normally am. So maybe if I apply this with, you know, in the dead of winter when I'm super pale, this may actually be a little bit better on me. Which means we're going in with highlighter. And this highlighter made me so nervous when I looked at it in the tube, because look at how dark that looks. I was like, who is that going to work for? They call this a holographic highlighter. I don't think it is, but it definitely has some sort of shift. So it has like gold to pink. I'm not sure if the camera is picking up on it in the swatch, but it definitely has some sort of shift to it. I don't feel the shimmer particles in this are refined enough for it to be like one of my favorites, but I mean, it comes in a handy little stick. For travel, this may be nice. And I don't think this necessarily goes with the bronzer I've just applied, because this highlighter is very warm toned because it has a very strong gold base. So do we see any highlight? Yeah, I can definitely see a little bit of highlight, but it's subtle. It's a lot more subtle than I had expected going into it. I definitely thought also online it looked quite dark for me, but it's a lot more successful than I had expected. The gold almost disappears on my skin. I can definitely see more of the pink than I do the gold, which is good. Which brings me to the final cheek product I have for you. This can also be applied to your lips. It's the Juicy Melon Tinted Lip and Cheek Balm. And I can already tell you right off the bat, this smells like watermelon candy. It smells really strong. It's like a jelly almost. Like it's a bit of a strange texture. And it's one of those pH changing sort of things. So I'm only going to apply a little bit because I find these products can darken after first applying it. So I'm just applying a little bit just to see what it does. I can always go in with more if I want to. And it is a tint, so I'm not expecting like huge amounts of coverage, or pigment, I should say. So even though it looks like I didn't really apply much, I do feel there is like a little bit of like a flushed look. I could definitely go in with a little bit more, I think. What do you guys think? I think I can. So this blush isn't super pigmented or anything like that. It just gives a little bit of hint of color. It's definitely for that barely there kind of vibe, if that's what you're looking for. For the look that I'm doing today, I wish it had a little bit more pigment because I feel it would have brought the look together a little bit better, especially because I have some interesting eye products for you. And what is that interesting eye product, you might say? Matte liquid shadows. I picked up all three. This is Peach Pop, which is very orange, so I don't think I'll be using that. Maybe on the lower lash line. Cocoa Crush, which is like a nice light brown. And I have Bare Bliss, which is like a nude beige. They all look very warm toned, especially in the swatch. This all has like an orange undertone on me. So I'm just gonna hope for the best and apply these into a look. I think I'm gonna try and do a little bit of like on the like outer part of my eye, do a bit of the darker brown, then this Barely Bliss shade in the inner part of my eye, and then this on the lower lash line. And then maybe I'll apply a little bit of the highlighter on top just to add a bit of sparkle, because I don't like all matte looks. And I hope these are self-setting because I currently am not wearing any other eye primer than the thing I used on my lids at the start. Alright, so that's the eye look that I did with these 3 shades. I did a little bit of these 2 browns to like set up a crease look, and then I used a little bit of the peach to add that hint of orange. I decided to also apply it to the top lid to make it look more intentional, and I used the dark brown eyeliner that I have and dark brown mascara to frame the look, and that way I feel I don't look like I'm ill. Because before I put on mascara and I applied the dark brown liner, I definitely felt that, especially this like peach pop shade, not my vibe. And these 2 as well, once they blend out, they look incredibly orange. So that's not really my cup of tea. So I love trying these for you guys, but I think I still prefer the shimmers over these mattes. I'm not an all matte look kind of girl anyways. So let me apply a little bit of the shimmer from the highlighter just for good measure, because I want there to be a little bit of oomph in my eye looks. This could mess it up completely, but I think this is going to be the thing I need to sort of make my look come more alive. And I know for sure that the lip products I have for you are going to match the eye look, because look at how orange this looks. These are all 5 shades of the new Soft Touch Lip Mousse. And when I swatched these, I thought the formula was really interesting. It very much reminds me of the Blur Fudge Tints by Romand. So I definitely feel there are some like sneaky little nods to K-Beauty in this Essence lineup, which I think is a good thing. I think this shade, which is 5, all-time favorite, is going to be my favorite. So we're going to do that one last. So let me just take you through shades 1 through 5 on my lips so you know exactly what these look like. So first up, we have Fuel Your Passion and Orange Brown. I hope I like this. These are super easy to apply, so I'm really happy with that, but this is not really my shade. The fact that my hair is down is sort of helping this shade look a little bit better on me, and the fact that I already have like something peachy toned on my eyes. But this is not something I'm going to be reaching for. I don't think I'll move this shade into my everyday collection. If you have super warm toned skin, this is the range for you, I'm sure. Number 2 is Love at First Sight. And on the doe foot, it just looks like a deeper version of number 1. I don't know what they were thinking with these, because the first 4 are all very close in terms of what the shades look like, at least on my skin tone. Here is what that shade looks like. Will this be pretty on some people? Yes. For me, far too yellow. Far too yellow. This just makes me look so sallow and just not fun. Like, the contrast between my lips and my skin is just far too great. So this is a big no-no for me. This shade looks a little bit more promising. This is Good Vibes Only, and this veers a little bit more towards a red. But again, still quite orange heavy when I look at it in the doe foot. So here's what that shade looks like. This is better for me, but it's still a little bit on the orange side. It's more of like a terracotta red, I feel. pretty, but not necessarily for me for like the daily. I like these kind of shades on myself in the fall time sometimes, but not all the time, and I have my Lisa Eldridge things that I like for that, so I don't think I'm going to be using this shade a lot either. These do have a little bit of like a cupcake, like sweet vanilla scent, like cake batter I would call it. It's not overly strong, but especially when you're swatching a couple of them back to back, it's pretty noticeable. Number 4 is In My Heart. And this shade I really don't understand. It looks like it's supposed to be like a pink, but again, it has the orange. Why? Why is this thing orange? I like this shade a lot better on me than I had expected. The pink in it makes it a little bit more wearable for me, but it's so warm toned. So warm toned. On me, this is just not the right kind of pink. I feel I disappear with a shade like this. So that's why this is also a no for me. I hope number 5, all-time favorite, is indeed my all-time favorite. And here's what it looks like. It's still warm, but it is mauve, it seems. So here's the first one that I'm actually enthusiastic about. It doesn't go with the eye look. It's too peach in the eyes for this to work. But I definitely think with my skin, I definitely feel my skin now looks a little bit more alive that I've put this shade on compared to some of the other shades I just applied. This is really pretty. I like this. So those were all the products I wanted to share with you today. I definitely think really interesting formulas, some really good products, especially in the cheek and complexion department. The eye and lip products, I'm a little less of a fan of, as you could tell, mainly because of the shades. I like the formulas. The formulas are fine. So if these shades work for you, you can definitely still make it work as well. So I hope this video was helpful for you, that you got something out of it, and I will be back with an update once I've tried all of these things a little bit more, so I know how they wear and how they look on my face after days, weeks of wearing them. So come, I think October time, I will probably update you on all of the new Essence and CATRICE products to tell you what is actually worth it. So stay tuned for that video. In the meantime, I will be filming loads of other things, of course, so I'd like to stay tuned for more. I film 4 videos a week, but this video is still part of Eyeshadow Palette Month, which is a month where I was posting every single day. So if you missed any of those videos, just go back to a few. Thank you so very much for watching today, and then I hope to see you in my next one. Bye-bye!